Scandals are usually not too common in the sport of tennis, so when one happens, it usually gains a lot of traction. With that said, there have been a few cases in which cheating has rocked the tennis world. The following are some controversies that have shaken the tennis world. So, come along with the video as I discover some fascinating instances of professional tennis players engaging in cheating. How were they uncovered, and what happened to each of them? Welcome to Tennis FLIX, a channel dedicated to the latest and greatest in the tennis world. You will be captivated by today's amazing video, Tennis Players Who Got Caught Cheating. Let's get started. Number 1. Daniel Koellerer. Koellerer is the first ATP player to be discovered and given a permanent suspension from tennis events. Born on August 17, 1983, he is a professional tennis player from Austria. His professional career began in 2002. His greatest ATP World Best ranking was 55 in 2009. Koellerer was one of several athletes suspected of manipulating matches. In 2011, the tennis governing body launched an inquiry and informed the player of their findings, which revealed that he had invited other players to fix matches 5 times between 2009 and 2010. Parts of the breaches were made public, despite the tennis governing body concealing full information. His lifelong suspension from tennis resulted from the following charges. The first charge was that Koellerer once asked a player to purposefully lose a match. This was probably in 2009. The second charge was that Koellerer was caught speaking to have offered a player compensation to fix his match. He advised another player in that same tournament to let him know if he was interested in fixing a game, and he would put him in touch with match fixers. Thirdly, the professional tennis player from Austria asked his opponent whether he would be interested in making tennis bets with him that would not impact his world ranking in order to increase his earnings. In the fourth charge, Koellerer made touch with a tennis player, offering him roughly 10,000 euros in exchange for losing the match. The anti-corruption hearing officer rendered a decision against Koellerer on May 31, 2011. He had to pay a fine of $100,000, and he would never again be allowed to take part in any event that the regulating body sponsored or approved. Koellerer denied all of his accusations in an interview with BuzzFeed News, where he discussed 16 players who have been reported to the tennis authorities but have not yet been investigated. Who else caught the ITIA's attention? Number 2. Grigor Sargsyan. The second case of players who got caught cheating is a widespread scandal involving 7 professional tennis players. After Koellerer's case, the International Tennis Integrity Agency, ITIA, announced the suspension of 7 Belgian tennis players as part of a match-fixing investigation. All 7 players were joined by a match-fixing syndicate under the leadership of Grigor Sargsyan. This announcement was released after Grigor Sargsyan was sentenced by ITIA to 5 years of imprisonment. The suspended players are Alec Whitmuir, Arnaud Grace, Julien Dubal, Romain Barbosa, Maxime Authome, Omar Salman, and Arthur de Greef. Arthur de Greef was the highest-ranking player among all 7 players. In 2017, he achieved his highest-ever ATP World Best ranking of 113. Following the Grigor Sargsyan investigation and ban, the detective interrogated de Greef, who admitted to 9 match-fixing violations. He was fined $45,000 and suspended for 3 years and 9 months. The person credited with creating the largest tennis match-fixing empire was Grigor Sargsyan. Number 3. Martina Hingis. So, is there any more serious crime than match-fixing? Yes, it is the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Similar to the occasion when Martina Hingis's performance-enhancing drug test result was positive. Hingis is without a doubt one of the greatest players in women's tennis history. I mean, she topped the singles and doubles rankings for 29 weeks in a row, has 25 major titles, and holds the most WTA records. Martina is an unstoppable force. Every time she gets on the court, she appears to be high on steroids. Wait, did she really have one? Okay, maybe not steroids, but in 2007, Martina tested positive for cocaine. However, Martina maintained innocence, denying using the substance prior to the match. In fact, things were so messy that she decided to retire shortly thereafter. Number 4. Karim Hossam. Karim Hossam's case began when 2 former British police investigators representing the Tennis Integrity Unit investigated him for match fixing. Why was the young Egyptian tennis player pointed out by the 2 police officers as a possible match fixer? It all began when a player that Karim did not know approached him before a match and asked, "Do you want to lose this match and get $1,000? That same player had earlier offered Karim a match-fixing plan in exchange for losing the opening set of his match for $1,000. This was a significant temptation because Karim Hossam was ranked 300th, and his opponent was a stronger player with a global ranking of 9. Whether he won or lost, it made no difference, so Hossam was powerless to refuse that offer. After losing the match, he proceeded to a nearby bank to withdraw his money. That was the beginning of the young star's downfall for just $1,000. Tennis laws state that a single match-fixing offense will result in a lifelong suspension from the sport. He earns approximately $200 for each match he fixes, which are played in Egypt, Tunisia, and Nigeria. A few days after the interview, he was provisionally suspended from playing. His statement to his fellow teammates that he would bet even more following the ban worsened the limits imposed on him as a junior coach only. Karim Hossam received a final verdict of a lifetime tennis ban in July 2018. Following his lifelong ban, Karim Hossam's younger brother Youssef Hossam came under investigation. Number 5. Hugo Gaston. Hugo Gaston is the fifth and one of the most recent tennis players to be caught cheating. The supporters caught his obvious cheating right there on the court. Tennis player Hugo Gaston, a Frenchman, was exposed for cheating during a match. This occurred during the Madrid Open on April 28, 2023. Borna Coric, a player from Croatia who currently holds the 31st spot in the ATP World's Best ranking, was his opponent. Coric was 1 point away from winning the set when Gaston lobbed the ball up during a return swing, pulled a ball out of his pocket, and dropped it to the ground while the ball was still in the air. He then pointed at it in an attempt to get a do-over. In a single season, this was Gaston's 4th violation of inappropriate behavior. He was fined $155,000 by the ATP Tour Association. This sum exceeded his total earnings for the season, which came to almost $120,000. Number 6. Youssef Hossam. The alleged actions committed by Youssef took place between 2015 and 2019. According to the TIU, he was found guilty of 8 match-fixing incidents, 6 cases of gambling facilitation, 3 failures to disclose corrupt approaches, 2 cases of encouraging other players not to use their best efforts, and 2 failures to cooperate with a TIU investigation. After rendering her decision, Jane Mulcahy QC banned Youssef Hossam for life. As of May 2019, he is no longer permitted to participate in or attend any official tennis tournament hosted by the sport's governing bodies. Number 7. Richard Gasquet. This tennis player tested positive for cocaine, and his explanation may surprise you. Yes, it is about Richard Gasquet. 3 things make Gasquet famous: his smooth backhand, his French culture, his cocaine scandal. So, as you know, each participant has to participate in a test to ensure they are free of performance-enhancing substances prior to a tournament. Additionally, Gasquet's test result from 2009 was positive. His urine sample contained 1.46 micrograms of cocaine. However, this is when the interesting part begins. Gasquet claimed he accidentally took it while getting freaky at the club. Despite how silly that may sound, the ITF granted Gasquet's request for a shorter ban. Yes, it was 2 months and 15 days instead of the original 2-year term. Today's video has come to an end. Don't forget to comment on your favorite part of our video and why, like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Until then, we look forward to seeing you in our next video. If you have a video idea for our channel, please comment and our team will respond immediately. Game, set, match.